Please do not buy another property investment until you watch this video. Hey everyone, my name is Simon Misiewicz and I want to talk to you today about stamp duty land tax, which is SDLT to you and me. But before I get started, make sure that you press the subscribe button just below here and you press the bell as well to make sure that you get notifications of every time we upload a video. So let's talk about SDLT and more importantly, the 3% SDLT surcharge that is coming to play whether you buy another property investment in your own name, so that means that you already own a home or a buy-to-let property investment in your name, or you're buying a property investment inside of a limited company. And we're talking about residential properties here. And what you'll notice from this table here is that you will be paying extra SDLT, which is typically paid through your solicitors to HMRC within 30 days of acquiring the property. Normally, they do take that money up front to make sure that you do not run off with it. But ultimately, you are going to be paying this extra charge. And let's just take a look at an example here of how this SDLT charge may affect you. You've got this property for £250,000, and you can see there the amount of SDLT that you'll need to pay. Equally, let's take another example of a property of £400,000. And again, we can see the amount of more money that you're going to have to pay for SDLT. So, does this affect you? If so, please make sure that you write yes and describe how it's affecting you. If it's not affecting you, type in no. And equally, tell me why it's not affecting you. Okay, so we know what the problem is, this 3% SDLT surcharge, and what can be done about it. Well, you'll be pleased to know I'm not creating this video just to be downbeat. I'll leave that to some other organisation. I want to describe to you some solutions I've looked at. And let's have a look at this one. This is where you buy a residential flat, but you buy it above a shop of some nature. And what I'm describing to you here is mixed use. Why is mixed use really important? Well, mixed use is important because you have this whole issue of SDLT. You do not pay the 3% SDLT charge on mixed use properties, which is great news because it does mean you can still buy residential properties, but you don't have to pay the 3% surcharge, and you're buying a commercial property as well. Now, you may even use it for your own office if you like. Further examples of this is typically when you find you go to local shopping centres and you will find these properties out and about. Normally you buy them together in all honesty. So do have a look around. There are a few options for you to look at. The second option I want to describe to you is buying commercial property, or I should say non-residential properties. And non-residential properties for you and me is offices, you may have shops, you may have warehouses. There are a number of others, but I want to focus on, in this example, we'll talk about commercial properties and offices. Now, you may go to your accountant, and they're a local accountant, and there may be what you could be working in a type of a home, I guess. A dentist also, when you go to a dentist, sometimes they are a boutique, and therefore they're on the corner of a residential housing, and it does indeed look like a house. Now, if those type of properties are coming up for sale, I would suggest that you look to buy them. And that is because you are, again, if you are going to be buying those type of properties, the values are typically in line with residential properties. But the best thing about this is that you pay non-residential rates, which is great news because you're saving all of this money. And if you're buying these type of properties, you can then convert them into residential properties. That's a fantastic saving, but here's an extra saving for you, is that the VAT of converting a commercial property to residential, you may be able to reduce it from 20%, which is your standard rate of VAT, and reduce it by 15% down to 5%. Now, if you are refurbing a property of, let's say, £20,000 to convert that property, and there are some nuances, so you do need to get some expertise advice around this area, But if you have a £20,000 refurb going on, then you can see how much VAT you'll be able to save. So we are typically talking about SDLT saving as well as VAT savings. So it's time maybe to look around the types of properties that you've been buying in the past and then changing your focus around these commercial buildings. And you won't be in that much competition because how many people really think of this? So then guys, can you see how this strategy can help you save tax? If you can, type in yes in the comments below and tell me how you're going to introduce this strategy. If you can't see how this strategy is going to save you tax, please type in no with any questions that you may have, and I promise to answer those within 24 hours to make sure that you can save tax in the future. Thank you guys for listening today, and I hope you have a great week.